What's up mga kaguro at mga mag-aaral? Welcome sa panibagong aralin sa General Science. I'm your online teacher, Sir Franco. For this lesson, we will study about natural hazard, disasters, prevention, mitigation, preparedness, and adaptation. Today's lesson focuses on understanding natural hazards, how they become disasters, and how communities can reduce risk through preparedness and mitigation. This topic is important because the Philippines is highly exposed to many natural hazards due to its geographic location. Understanding hazards helps us protect lives, property, and the environment. By the end of this lesson, learners should not only recognize hazards but also analyze their effects and recommend solutions. The goal is not memorization but understanding real-life applications. Let's first look back on what we have studied already about hazard. A hazard is not automatically dangerous until it affects people or communities. For example, a strong storm in the middle of the ocean is only a hazard. It becomes a disaster if it hits a populated area. Examples of these are typhoon, thunderstorm, storm surge, heat wave, and ipo. There are two types of hazards: the hydrometeorological hazards and geological hazards. Geological hazards come from earth processes such as earthquakes and landslides, while hydrometeorological hazards come from weather and climate systems such as typhoons and heat waves. Our lesson today focuses mostly on hydrometeorological hazards. Let's first remember this important concept. Hazards only become disaster when they affect people. A typhoon in an uninhabited island is not disaster, but if it hits a city with weak infrastructure, it becomes destructive. There is what we call a risk formula. Risk depends on three factors: hazard, how strong the event is; exposure, who or what is in danger; and vulnerability, how prepared they are. Even a small hazard can become deadly if vulnerability is high. Now let's proceed to our main topic: hydrometeorological hazards, risks, and vulnerable sectors. First, we have typhoon. Typhoons are common in the Philippines because of warm ocean waters. Their impact depends on intensity and preparation level. Typhoons comes with strong winds and rains. Strong typhoons can destroy crops, infrastructures, and homes. Vulnerable sectors are those living in the coastal communities, informal settlers, and farmers. Thunderstorms may seem minor but can still cause serious damage. These are short-lived storms with lightning, heavy rain, and wind, and usually are present during the uh, peak season of the southwest monsoon. Lightning can start fires or injure people, while heavy rain can cause flash floods within minutes. Vulnerable sectors are those who work outdoors, those who are in open areas, and weak electrical systems. Next, we have ipo-ipo or water spout and tornado. Water spouts form over water, while tornadoes form over land. Though usually short-lived, they can be destructive. Even small ones can overturn boats or damage houses. The vulnerable areas are coastal communities, fishermen, and light structures. Storm surge. Storm surge are often more deadly than winds during typhoons. It is the abnormal rise of seawater during storms. Rising seawater can quickly flood communities and destroy livelihoods such as fishing. Heat wave is also an example of hydrometeorological hazard. Heat waves are slow onset hazards. They don't look dramatic but can cause widespread health and economic problems, especially where cooling systems or water access are limited. Vulnerable sectors are the elderly, children, farmers, urban residents, and those with comorbidities. Now let's compare hazards risks. Different hazards produce different types of risks. Some hazards damage infrastructure immediately, while others affect health or food supply gradually. For example, a typhoon can cause physical destruction, while a heat wave can cause health and agricultural damage. We can compare hazards impact by speed. May hazard na mabilis ang epekto like typhoons and storms. Minutes to hours lang pero may damage na agad. Pero may mga hazards din na slow acting tulad ng heat waves or drought na gradual pero long lasting ang epekto. Minsan mas mahirap pa silang madetect kasi nga hindi agad obvious ang danger. We can also compare the risk types based on physical, health, and economic effects. Iba-ibang klase ng risk na dala ng hazards. Some hazards affect our bodies directly, like, for example, when a person got struck by a falling debris. Others affect health, like heat stroke. May hazards din na mainly economic ang impact tulad ng crop damage. Kaya mahalaga na hindi lang isang aspect ang tinitingnan sa risk assessment. We can also compare hazards by area affected. May hazards na localized lang, meaning maliit na area lang ang affected. Example, Ipo-Ipo, usually isang barangay lang ang naapektuhan. Pero may mga hazards na malawak ang sakop tulad ng typhoon or heat wave na pwedeng makaapekto sa buong region or buong bansa. We can also compare hazards based on their predictability scale. Some hazards may early warning systems. Halimbawa sa typhoons, nakikita natin sa satellite days before its arrival or landfall. Pero ang ipo-ipo or thunderstorm, minsan minutes lang ang warning. Kaya mas risky sila kahit maliit lang. Diba nga minsan nagre-release yung Pag-asa ng mga thunderstorm advisory mga 2 hours or 1 hour before the impact. Why some hazards are more dangerous? A strong hazard hitting a prepared community may cause less damage than a weak hazard hitting an unprepared one. Preparedness reduces vulnerability. Now, which hazard is most dangerous? Wala namang single hazards na laging most dangerous. A weak typhoon hitting a vulnerable area can be worse than a strong typhoon hitting a prepared city. So, depende nga yan sa location kung saan nangyari yung isang hazard, kung siya ba ay magiging disastrous. Hazard versus vulnerability case. This proves that disasters are not caused only by nature. They are also caused by human preparedness level. Next, hazards analysis. Example risk analysis. Hazard, heat wave. So, exposure, farmers, vulnerability, no irrigation, result, crop failure. This example shows how risk depends not just on hazards but on people's situation. If irrigation existed, vulnerability would be lower and crops might survive. Local relevance discussion. Which hazards affect our community most? So the students will be encouraged to recall real experiences. Local examples help learners connect science concept to real life and understand why preparedness matters. Let's analyze typhoon. So ang typhoon ay isa sa pinaka-dangerous na hazard sa Pilipinas because of strong winds plus heavy rain. Hindi lang wind ang danger, flooding and landslide cause more death. So these are the immediate risks to people: injury, drowning, and trauma, to livelihood, crop destruction, business closure, to environment flooding, and landslide. It has both short-term and long-term impacts. And the most vulnerable are the communities living on coastal and low-income communities or weak houses. But there are mitigation. We can have early warning systems, typhoon, and of course, we can build a strong housing design to reduce damage when typhoon strikes. So prepared communities suffer less damage than unprepared ones. Now let's analyze thunderstorms. Thunderstorms look harmless, but lightning can be deadly. So immediate risk is lightning injury, livelihood, crop damage, and environment flash floods. So short-term and long-term effects include power interruption and soil erosion, respectively. And of course, most vulnerable are those who are working outdoors or are just passing by outdoors, taking about on the sa ilalim ng ulan, and yung mga nagko-commute din. Okay? So, mitigation is lightning safety awareness and drainage system to reduce flooding. Kahit short duration lang sila, increase and intense rainfall can flood streets quickly. Kaya mahalaga ang mga drainage systems. Next, we have Ipo-Ipo and Buhawi. Water spouts form over water where tornadoes form over land. Both rotate rapidly and can cause sudden destruction kahit short-lived lang. So, immediate risks to people, flying debris, injuries to livelihood, damaged roofs and boats, environment, uprooted trees. And then, in short-term effect, displacement, long-term event, of course, yung pagre-rebuild ng community na naapektuhan. So, most vulnerable dito ay mga nakatira sa coastal and rural communities. Next, we have storm surge. Storm surge often cause more fatalities than winds during typhoons. Rising seawater quickly floods coastal zones. So, immediate risk to people, drowning, livelihood, fish fund loss, and environment saltwater contamination because napupunta nga sa lupa and then nahaluan ng ibang mga materials or elements yung ating mga aquifers o yung ating mga poso. Short-term effects, of course, magkakaroon ng evacuation, and then long-term soil salinity damage o yung soil level din ng salt level din sa soil ay naapektuhan. So, of course, ang most vulnerable dito ay mga nakatira sa coastal area. Okay? So, mitigation is to plant mangroves to absorb wave energy and coastal zoning which keep houses away from reefs, yung talaga dapat na tamang space or agwat ng dagat and dun sa mga coastal communities, mga tinatanong mga resorts ay nasusunod. Then we have heat waves. Heat waves are silent hazards. Hindi sila dramatic like storm but they can cause widespread health crisis and agricultural losses. Immediate risk sa people, of course, pwede magkaroon ng heat stroke, livelihood, pagkasira ng mga pananim sa environment, drought, stress. Short-term effect, of course, nagkakaroon tayo ng dehydration pag sobrang init. And long-term ay ito, yung lalo na kapag tag-init ay nagkukulang kulay yung ating supply ng tubig. And then, most vulnerable dito ay yung mga elderly and mga farmers kasi sila yung may mga comorbidities, yung mga elderly, and then farmers, of course, sa kanilang mga crops. So, mitigation is a hydration program, and then shade or green spaces sa mga lalo na sa mga city. Okay. Now, what is this topic connection to our community? Why hazards mapping matters? Hazards map show which areas are flood prone, landslide prone, or storm surge zones. Communities use them to plan evacuation routes, building locations, and disaster response. Now, let's proceed to the activities and assessment. First, we have the student task. Write one hazard in your area, and then under it, write 2 risks it causes and 1 mitigation strategy. This activity will check if you understand hazard risks relationships. This will encourage realistic solutions like evaluation planning, mangrove planting, or early warning systems. Now answer the following quick check questions. Why is a typhoon not always a disaster? What makes a community vulnerable? And which hazards affects farmers most? Why? Next activity, preparedness checklist. You will create a family hazards preparedness checklist or things to prepare before typhoon or heat wave. So the students will create a simple output but realistic checklist, not just generic items. For example, instead of just writing food, they should specify 3 days supply of canned food and rice. So dapat specific. So reminder to to include water, medicine, flashlights, radio, and important documents. So connect this to the idea that preparedness reduces vulnerability and therefore reduces risk. Next, create a barangay hazard poster that shows do's and don'ts for one hazards. So this option allows creativity while reinforcing concepts. So the students will have to keep their posters clear, attractive, and of course easy to understand. Stress that posters should be action oriented instead of just saying typhoon is dangerous. So you can write specific do's and don'ts like do evacuate early, don't stay near the coast. If possible, display their posters in the classroom or hallway to share preparedness messages with others. Now let's answer the following assessment questions. Number 1, a coastal barangay is warned of an approaching typhoon. Which situation shows highest risk? C. Strong typhoon hitting a coastal informal settlement. Yung mga nagtayo lang ng mga suspend lang dun sa dagat. Okay. 2. During a heat wave, which group is most vulnerable? So B, farmers working in open fields. Especially din yung mga traffic enforcers natin. 3. Two towns experience the same thunderstorm. Town A has drainage canal. Town B does not. Which statement is correct? So of course, C, Town B has higher risk because they don't have drainage system. 4. Why can storm surge be more dangerous than strong winds? Worse, they bring seawater flooding inland, so letter C. 5. A tornado passes over farmland with no houses nearby. What best describes the event? So B, this is only a hazard and not a disaster. 6. Which mitigation measure best reduces typhoon risk? C. Installing early warning system. 7. A community plants mangroves along the coast. What risk does this reduce? B. Storm surge flooding. 8. Two places experience equal heat waves. Which will suffer more damage? C. City with concrete buildings only. Kasi nakadagdag yun sa init na yung scape ng mga city or ng metro. 9. Why do hazards affect communities differently? B. Exposure and vulnerability vary. And then 10. Which situation shows best preparedness? C. Preparing emergency kits before storms. So, the key idea of this lesson centralizes on these different hazards, different risks. Understanding hazards help reduce disaster impacts. So, risk level depends on exposure and vulnerability. Now, answer this reflection question to yourself. Why is it important to recognize hazards early? Okay, so early awareness saves lives, protects property, and allows communities to prepare. And that's it for our lesson. And remember, disaster happen when hazards meet vulnerability. Preparedness turns hazards into manageable risks. Natural hazards cannot be prevented, but disasters can be reduced through knowledge, planning, and cooperation. Hindi natin mapipigilan ang hazards, pero kaya nating bawasan ang disaster impact. Tandaan, knowledge plus preparedness plus cooperation is equal to safer communities. Once again, thank you to the development team of the lesson exemplar kung saan ibinase ang mga bahagi ng lesson na ito. Muli ang inyong online teacher, Sir Franco. Maraming salamat sa inyong panonood.